everyone, welcome to Science Prodigy. Today we will be doing speed, distance and time of mathematics class 8. Okay, so to those who have not yet subscribed the channel, I would like to tell you that I will be covering the entire syllabus of physics, chemistry and mathematics for classes 8 and 9. So, you will be getting all the chapters which have been done in the playlist of mathematics class 8. I have covered in details with very good problems on ratio and proportion. You can easily get it in that playlist of mathematics class 8. So, let us begin with speed, distance and time. When I say speed, okay, speed is the amount of distance covered per unit time. So, if I try to write speed, speed is nothing but distance by time, because it is the distance which has been covered in a unit time period, right? So, it is the distance by time. So, now how do we use the units of speed? What are the units of speed? When I say speed, the first most important unit is kilometer per hour and meter per second, because they are not mixed units and they are only the units which are more frequently used. You can see centimeter per second and all that. Why is it so? Because what does speed in kilometer per hour imply? When I say speed in kilometer per hour, that means if I say unit wise, kilometer is in the numerator, that is the distance is in kilometer and the time is in hours. That is why it is kilometer per hour, because we are always describing speed in terms of distance by time. Now, if I actually say the speed is in meter per second, what do I mean by that? That means the distance covered is in meter and the time has been taken in seconds. So, it is totally as per the formula only. The unit is as per this formula only. Now, if the speed has been given, the time has been given, it has been traveling with this particular speed for a certain amount of time, then what is the distance covered? Obviously, the speed which is in kilometer per hour or meter per second or any other respective unit into the time taken, which will be giving me the distance. So, in this way, the different relations, that is ultimately this is the formula which is our ultimate, which will be of our ultimate use. But in general, it may be asked that find the time period if the distance and the speed is given. So, if I actually interchange speed and time, the time can be evaluated as distance by speed, and if it is asked find the distance, then distance is nothing but cross multiplying, distance is nothing but speed into time. So, this is only the amount of calculations which you have to do. Now, certain important results or important relations which you must know and which you should remember all the time is that when we convert 1 kilometer per hour into meter per second and when meter per second is converted into kilometer per hour, you should remember this always, that 1 kilometer per hour is actually 5 by 18 meter per second. So, this is a very useful relation. So, accordingly, if any time it is asked to convert the speed in kilometer per hour to meter per second, you can easily multiply the speed in kilometer per hour into, multiply it with 5 by 18 so that the speed is obtained in meter per second. How? Why is it 5 by 18? Because when I say kilometer converted to meter, this is nothing but 1000, 1 kilometer is 1000 meter, and by hour, 1 hour is nothing but 60 into 60 seconds, and this upon further reduction of the factors, and after reducing it we will finally get this value as 5 by 18. Okay, so this is how it is coming. So, if you remember it, you can directly multiply the value in kilometer per hour with 5 by 18 to get the speed in meter per second. So, from this result only it is very much clear that if I want to convert meter per second into kilometer per hour, then obviously 1 meter per second will be 18 by 5 kilometer per hour, which is very obvious. So, these two relations are extremely important and you should remember them all the time because they will be of much use while solving problems. So let us move towards certain questions. Okay. In this question it has been given that an aeroplane flies for 450 kilometer in 20 minutes. Now there are three subparts. The first part is find its speed in kilometer per hour. Second part is time to cover 1800 kilometer, and the third part is the distance covered in 0.6 hours. Now first of all, if we use the given data, the first part is speed in kilometer per hour. Now the distance is already provided in kilometer, 450 kilometer. Now the time is provided in 20 minutes. So we have to convert this in hours so that the moment we do distance by time, it will be easily obtained in kilometer per hour. So keeping the distance as it is, if I convert the time in hours, it will be 1 minute is nothing but 1 by 60 hours. So time becomes 1 by 3 hours. Now using the formula of speed, which is distance by time, we can easily get it to be 450 by 1 by 3, that is 450 into 3. So the answer is 1350 kilometer per hour. Okay. We just had to convert the time from minutes to hours and the part 1 was done. Now moving forward to part 2. Part 2 says that what is the time taken to cover 1800 kilometer. The distance is given, we have already found out the speed, the time is asked. So we will be directly using the formula. The time, if we interchange both of them, we can easily see time is nothing but distance by speed. What is the distance? The distance is 1800 kilometer. And the speed we have already evaluated that the aeroplane is travelling with this constant speed for any time interval, which is 1350. Now the unit, you can see that it is in hours. So the unit of time here will be also in hours. Now if we evaluate this, the answer comes out to be 4 by 3 hours. Okay. You can keep it in fraction, you can go for decimal, no issue. Now moving to question number 3, part 3, that is what is the distance which is covered in 0.6 hours. So as you can see, distance is nothing but speed into time, cross multiplying both of them. So distance covered in 0.6 hours, that means the time is given as 0.6. We know the speed, it is 1350. So if we see, the answer is 8100 kilometers. Okay. So moving to the next question. Now if we know certain important terminologies, that is when we say uniform speed, variable speed and average speed, what is the difference between the three of them? So as the name suggests, when I say uniform speed, that is the speed is uniform, the speed is constant. That means equal distances are covered in equal intervals of time. That is why the speed remains uniform or the speed remains constant throughout that particular time span. When I say it is covering equal distances in equal time intervals. But what is variable speed? Any speed which is non-uniform, not constant, is variable as the name suggests. How do we know that? Because it is covering unequal distances in the same equal intervals of time. When measured for the same equal intervals of time, it is observed that the distance covered becomes unequal. So it is a variable speed. Now for variable speed, we cannot actually determine the speed at a particular time. We have to go by the average speed. We cannot say the total speed of the journey is actually same as any instant value of speed, because it is varying constantly, it is a variable speed. So for that particular purpose, we go for defining what is an average speed. In reality, uniform speed is really not possible to maintain a uniform speed. So because there is a variable speed, the speed at any instant is constantly differing, we actually go for the average speed throughout a particular journey. The average speed is always the total distance travelled by the total time taken. So when I say average speed is nothing but the total distance by the total time. Okay. So let us do certain questions to understand it better. So as you can see, the second question states that a man covers a distance of 60 km at a speed of 40 km per hour and another distance of 50 km at a speed of 30 km per hour. So find the average speed throughout the journey. So first data is 60 km in 40 km per hour. The next data is 50 km in 30 km per hour. So right now I stated that average speed is the total distance by the total time. So what is the total distance? 60 km plus 50 km. So the total distance is 110 km. Now we have to find the total time. Time is distance by speed. So if I say T1 is 60 by 40, which is 3 by 2 hours, and if I go for T2, this is 50 by 30, which is 5 by 3 hours. Now we have to find the average speed, which is total distance by total time. So this is our answer. You can keep it as a fraction or go for decimal, no problem. Okay. As you can see, it is given that the distance between two towns is covered in 5 hours at a speed of 60 km per hour. How much time is saved if the speed is increased by 15 kilometers per hour? So first of all, what is the distance between the two towns which has to be covered? The distance will be 60 into 5. Now the second part says that how much time is saved if the speed is increased by 15 kilometers per hour. The initial speed is 60 kilometer per hour. So the final speed is 75 kilometer per hour. So what is the time taken now to cover the same distance between the two towns? 300 by 75. The time is 4 hours and previously the time taken was 5 hours. The question asks how much time is saved. So final time is 4 hours. So if we go and check this out, the time saved becomes 1 hour because it is travelling at 4 hours with this speed, travelling for 4 hours with this speed, and previously it was travelling for 5 hours. So the time saved is 1 hour. Okay, so moving forward to the next question. So now what is relative speed? When I say relative speed, that means the speed of one object relative to the other object, the speed of one object with respect to a second object. So we always consider the relative speed as the difference in the speeds of the two objects. Okay, because it is a relative speed, the speed with respect to that second object, not in its initial speed, the speed which it is covering with respect to the other moving object, or it can be a stationary object, but generally relative speed means only we have to compare the speed with some other moving object. Now suppose the two objects are moving in the same direction, the two bodies are moving in the same direction. So if they are moving in the same direction, so suppose one body is moving with a speed of 6 km per hour and another body is moving with a speed of 2 km per hour. So what is the speed of body 2 with respect to the first body? So if we see the speed with respect to this body which is already moving with a speed of 2 km per hour, it will be 6 minus 2 because they are in the same direction. So with respect to this one, it is ahead by a speed of plus 4 km per hour. But if it becomes the reverse case, that is speed of object 1 with respect to the body 2, so in that particular case it is actually moving slower. So this speed for the first object with respect to the second will become minus 4 km per hour. Now if this is the opposite case, that is the bodies are moving in opposite directions. Okay, so if they are moving in opposite direction, there are two possible ways, either they are moving towards each other or moving away from each other. Okay, so either these two bodies are moving towards each other if they are moving in opposite direction. So if this is moving with a speed of 6 km per hour and this is moving with a speed of 4 km per hour, then both are approaching each other. So the speed of this object with respect to the first object and the speed of first object with respect to the second object, both are same only, which is 10 km per hour. They get added up when they are moving in the opposite direction, because with respect to this speed which is already moving in this direction, this is also increasing even more. Okay, so in the same way, if they are moving away from each other, in that particular case, if this object is eventually moving away from each other with the same values of speed as previously, still it will be moving away with a speed which is 10 km per hour. So both are the same because they will be added up when they are moving in the opposite direction, because it is actually ahead of this one with respect to the 4 km per hour as well. So let us see certain questions and do them to understand what happens. Now in this question it has been given that A and B are two places 500 km apart. A car starts from A to B at a speed of 55 km per hour and another car starts from B to A at a speed of 45 km per hour. Find the distance from A where they will meet and how much time will the two cars take to reach the meeting point. So if we actually draw a rough diagram, if this is point A and this is point B separated at a distance of 500 km, the car which is starting from point A towards point B is moving at a speed of 55 km per hour, and this car is eventually moving at a speed of 45 kilometers per hour. Now because they are moving in opposite direction, the relative speed of either the car A starting from the point A or the car B starting from point B, the relative speed will obviously be 45 plus 55 kilometers per hour. So when we see the part of the question that has been asked, that the distance from A where they will meet and how much time will the two cars take to reach the meeting point. So if both of them are traveling at a relative speed of 100 km per hour, where they have to cover a distance of 500 km, then it is very evident that time, which is distance by speed. So the relative speed of this car with respect to the second car is 100, which has been already obtained. So to cover this particular distance with this relative speed with respect to the other car, it is 500 by 100, that is, it will be taking 5 hours. So this is one part of the question. Now in the second part, it has been asked that find the distance from A where they will meet. So in this part, the distance from A, so the car, if I consider it for the car starting from point A, the distance will also be speed into time. So now if I see that it is traveling at the speed, its original speed is, for car A, the original speed is 55 km per hour. So with this particular speed, if this car keeps on traveling for the next 5 hours, because distance is speed into time, so with this, if it keeps on traveling for the next 5 hours, which is the meeting time, after 5 hours it will be finally able to reach the meeting point. So for 5 hours it will be traveling with the speed of 55 km per hour. So where will it reach? S into T. So what is S into T? 275 km from A for the car starting from the point A. So this is the distance of the meeting point from the point A. Okay, so I hope this second part is also pretty clear to all of you, that what happens when it is moving in this particular speed from the point A, because it has been traveling from the point A. So for how much long time does it needs to travel to reach the meeting point from the point A, and with how much speed it has been traveling to do the following. Okay, so here in the second part, I hope you understood why we are not going for the relative speed, because relative speed is for the meeting time, that is at how much time it can actually meet, because it is moving at a greater speed when it comes to the relative speed in opposite direction. And for in general, for the distance, the speed into time with which it can actually make the distance covered. So relative speed part, I hope it is very much clear from this particular example. Okay, so next is the questions which are based on train. Okay, that is how a train travels, what happens if the train is moving with respect to a stationary object. So we will be just discussing the theory part and the concept which lies behind this particular ideology, that what happens when the train is moving with respect to a moving observer, with respect to any stationary object, any stationary man observing the train. So this is a very separate case when we see for speed, distance and time. Okay, we will be seeing the different cases that are generally involved when we go for the train problems. Okay, so the first case is the train is moving with respect to a, suppose it is moving with respect to a stationary post or a stationary telegraph, suppose. Etc. That is a stationary tower or something. So for that, how much distance is the train traveling? Suppose this is the stationary tower and the train was actually present at exactly this particular point. Okay, so this is the train and this is the tower. Now, what is the distance covered by the train in overtaking this tower completely, provided the train started from this point? If this is the length of the train, if L is the length of the train in any unit, okay, so L is the length of the train, how much distance does the train need to travel? Just think, if we see the train has been starting from its starting point, and after it totally travels the entire distance, at a certain point it will be actually covering the entire length L and then reaching the final point. So that means to reach this end, it has to actually ensure that it covers its own entire length. So as a result of that, we see that the train has to cover its own length, which is L, because it is starting from 0 of this point and then it is covering this entire length of it and finally overtaking the tower. Now when we go for the second case is when the train is actually overtaking any particular bridge or it is overtaking a particular platform. Then the distance travelled by the train is actually its own length plus the length of the platform or the bridge or whatever has been stated of that sort. So if this is the platform plus the train, the distance which is travelled by the train will be first the distance, the length of this particular platform which it has to cover totally, and then it has to cover its own, after it reaches this particular point, it has to cover its own length. So as a result, the distance travelled by the train is the length of the train plus the length of the platform. Okay. And the final case or the third case is that when the train is overtaking another train moving in the same direction or moving in the opposite direction. So if the particular train is moving in the same direction, maybe it is on another railway track, it has to overtake the second train. So for overtaking the second train, it will be the length of, the total distance will be the length of both the trains. And when we see they are moving in the opposite direction, in the same way only it will be the length of both the trains. Next day we will be beginning with the numericals based on trains and all other previous concepts, that is average speed, relative speed, and even discussing about streams and the miscellaneous problems. Okay. So thank you for watching. Keep studying, keep learning. Thanks a lot.